Good morning, everyone. Today is October the 28th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. This is a very big earnings week. I think 3.8, maybe almost $4 trillion in market cap is going to report this week. So it's going to be a pretty intensive week. That being said, if we take a look at the daily chart, we're still inside of this channel that I drew probably a week ago. We can see that we've got higher lows and highs that are really trying to creep higher. 59.01 was sort of the line in the sand that we could not get from either Thursday or Friday. I cannot remember. Yes, I'm still in Finland. We'll be here until towards the end of the week. I will be traveling all day Wednesday and all day Thursday because we have a stopover in Frankfurt for evening. And so we'll be back on track on Friday. Now, here's what we're looking at. Dips are buy zones, but we have a cross current. We have momentum that's down on the day, but that could be just what was going on here. So my suspicion is that we hold the low and we try to walk up this wall of worry into 5,900. What's the ideal buy zone? My suspicion is the close of Friday, 58.33, and if it fades, maybe 58.53, and if it fades, maybe 58.36. So those are the areas to watch. We have a cross current, two hulls that are telling us near-term highs have been made, but a VWAP that's saying dips are still being bought. If we go to the 1 hour chart, we're going to see a pretty congested morning, and the value areas from last week have risen. Right? Value area low has risen, and that tells us that buying pressure is still fairly prevalent here, and so dips are going to be buy zones. You can see the VWAP, and that is very sideways, the VWAP volatility bands. And so we know that there's a likely dip action in the low volume zone. We can see at this low volume node around that 58.55 with VWAP of the last 3 days being about 58.54 and the point of control being 58.49. Round numbers, take a look. We go to the left of that candlestick formation at midnight and the like. We're going to see that we could easily drop into these lower areas before we find ourselves some good buyers, all right? But dips are definitely buy zones. This is the VWAP close of Friday, and it is being held. That number is 58.65, but we are underneath all of the moving averages, so the movement into the value area high should be a potential zone where the traders take profit from their longs or try to position new shorts. Very messy. I'd wait for the edges, either a breakout that holds, right? So here's a breakout above this line, but it does not hold. It gives us a lower low. So we need to look for a breakout that pulls back and holds on a tight time frame, or we look for a breakdown that fails and we get to go long. This in the middle, nothing but chop. NQ looks super strong. I got to tell you, this move in Tesla is doing a fair bit, right? So let's take a look at what happened to the value areas. Look at how they shifted on Friday. Much wider range greeting us this morning. Holy cow, that is pretty crazy. But positioning both with a lower low and a higher high. So what does that tell us? Well, we've got a cross current. Clear sellers at 20,674. If it crosses over, here's the expansion candle, you could chase it out for 20, 30 points, but anticipate exhaustion simply because momentum might not be telling us the same story. VWAP flat, volatility bands flat, hull flat, but still up, telling us that dips are buys. Take a look at the low volume node down there at 580. Look at where we came into 580, and it's bouncing, but the bounce into the value area high, potentially up into these zones near 650 or so, probably going to meet sellers. Could you stay long until it collides there? Yes, of course. Of course you can, right? You want to sit in tighter time frames that tell you what to do, but this is by the dip. This formation is buy the dip. So you certainly could hold it into forward resistance. Let's take a look at the YM. YM not looking as strong. Let's take a peek. Whoa, look at that. Value area slips way below, but also tightens up. That's pretty important to note, right? Slips down, but tightens up. It could tell us, nope, it could tell us that what we are going to see is price action compress and then break sharply. Not sure where that goes, right? If we take a look at the daily, we can see that we are now outside of this channel, but right near a big resistance zone. A lot of buyers should come in here and notice this was Friday's close, and we are well above Friday's close, but still below Friday's open. So what we have to do, if this is going to be any kind of bullish formation, is close above 42,656. But all of this is downward trend, downward trend, downward trend, downward trend. So the bounces are definitely going to be running into sellers. You could find another deep dip and maybe buy that. But see this low volume pocket? It was my premise last week that we would end up down here. Okay, so that's still my thought. All right, let's go to the hourly. Hourly is fairly sideways. We've moved this down. I'm going to put this on reverse. So we see the Fibonacci's to the bottom because we've needed those on the bottom and the top. So here's what we're looking at. Value area low, 42,410. Buyers here, another gap. But this low volume node, they are trying to buy. Also value area low. This is a dip buying event that could go all the way to the point of control up at 617, maybe even 656, but I suspect we've got sellers up here, right? My suspicion is a fade down into further areas, but this definitely 42,410 is a buy the dip with the first target at about 530 with some noisy pockets maybe at about 490. Let's take a look at oil. Oil off the rails. I mean, take a look. Here's our weekly chart. Weekly chart definitely downward trending since September of 2023. All right. Daily chart, we've got a little bit of an updraft, but we just broke it. We just broke it. Value area high, value area low. Could not stay above that 77 area way back then. And last week could not get up over 72. And now here we are at 67. Where's the next line in the sand? Listen, I would not be surprised to see this get to 65 and then maybe, I don't know. I don't know if we have, here's another one, but that's above 65. That's 66.30. Let's put a line right there. And then let's see. Nope. Yep. 65.40 is my thought about what we could easily get to there. Bounces or sell zones still. All right. Here is gold. 1 hour chart. Sideways. A little bit of sideways formations going on here. Wow. Let's see what's happened to the value area since we did it. It's tightened up. That means price compression, right? So they're getting ready to break somewhere. If you're thinking about gold, you know, dips are definitely buys, but we could see this 27.27 again before we move up. This was a great trade last week off of these lower edges. Just an absolutely fantastic trade last week. But we have lower highs and lower lows. So the price action compression could be a bull flag that we're sitting at right here, potentially, right? So we'll watch for that. And I like 27.30 as the floorboard to go long there. All right, let's take a look at SPY. SPY, still pretty sideways. Take a look, 8 o'clock candlestick. The 8 o'clock candlestick is being formed right here, and it's right in the middle of the candlestick 4 days ago. 8 o'clock candlestick below. Let's take a look at what's happened to the value areas. They've risen, but also compressed. So people are saying, all right, I'll buy the dip, but I'm not going to take it as high as before. And so that's really what this is telling us. When our value areas tighten, like we see them tightening here, hang on. When we see them tighten like this, it tells us they are agreeing at tighter areas, but they're also getting ready for a pretty solid move because everybody is sort of agreeing on price. And this happens a lot. So volume area, low volume areas will be where we look for longs. That's going to be somewhere around 579. Where we might look for shorts, I don't know, it could be all the way up at 585 because we have this bullish motion still in play. That's super important. I like the dips being buy zones. Point of control, 579.21. Set an alert there. Let that be a condition for you. I think it'll work delightfully. All right. Now, what do we want here? The Qs look way better than SPY or the ES, or the YM for that matter, right? It's significantly trending up. If you take a look at the daily, they're really trying to get to the top right here. They're at the top of the value area high on the day. Easily this could break out and, you know, squeeze the living daylights out of some shorts. So be careful shorting up there. It could be a monster move to the upside. Take a look at what's happened to the value areas. Whoopsie. Let's see what's going on with these value areas. Let's see. Value area. My goodness, where's the bottom of the value area? All right, here's one. And there's the other one. Good grief. Okay, hang on. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that I might have that wrong. So let me try that again. 1 hour, Fibonacci. Value area looks incredibly tight to me, right? Oops. Very, very tight. Oh, wrong way. So look at this tight range, right? Look at how many days. Breaks down, and now it's holding. So this is a runaway train. This is a new area that could build a fair bit of acceptance. And if that's the case, then we're going to rocket ship up to the next edge, right? And that's going to be 504 potentially, right? That's my thought. 504 is that next base because it's in a clear, look at this, congestion, congestion, congestion. And then this is, you know, JJ would talk about this being, you know, they're going to start getting rid of inventory up this way. So that's it, folks. I'd say stay frosty, choose small size, and I'll see you on the streams. We are going to have an early session today. It goes from 11 to 12. And look for your Zoom links in the Benzinga Pro platform. Take care, everybody.